Welcome back, Year 3. In this video, we're going to be trying out ourselves making different tones. And to do this, you need this equipment here. So you will have a palette for mixing paints. You need a water pot with some water in, black, blue and white paint, some tissue to clean your brushes, a paintbrush. Now I've chosen a medium brush, which is good for doing quite large areas, but not too large, so not a medium brush. And I've chosen a brush with a flat head because this helps me to position my paint properly. So it's good to have a flat head, but it doesn't matter too much. You will also need your sketchbook, a pencil and a ruler. Okay, now I'm going to move all of this equipment out of the way because the first thing you will need is your sketchbook. So you're going to have a go at making different tones of a colour, so changing the lightness and darkness of blue to make different tones. So what we're going to do is we're going to split the page into sections. So split it in half first, and then fold over that piece again to split in half again. And this, when you open up, will give you 4 boxes. Then I'd like you to split your page into 3 in this direction. So I'm going to rule 1 line here, and then 1 line here to make 4, 8, 12 boxes, okay? And this means that in each box we can make a different tone of blue. So here we go. So I'm going to put some blue paint in here, and I'm going to get my brush, and what I'm going to do first is to start with the first tone by just loading up my brush, stroking on the side to stop any drips. And remember, when you hold a brush, you hold it like a pencil just above this silver part here. Okay, so I'm going to use the tip of the brush so the corners don't get messy, I don't go over the edges, and then I'm going to press down heavier as I go across. And you can see I need to go again. I need to load up my brush with paint again, and I'm working in one direction across that box. Now can you see that the colour isn't even? Okay, I haven't got the same value of colour across the whole box, so I'm going to go over again and even out the colour. Okay, so this is my first tone. Okay, my first tone of blue. Now I'm going to try and change that tone of blue, and to do this I'm going to add water. Okay, so here I go. I'm going to load up my brush with water and put it into the paint. I'm going to add some more, and 1 more scoop of water, and I'm going to mix the paint and the water together. And then I need to test out that tone to see if it's different from the original. So I need a piece of test paper, and I'm going to stroke my brush on the side, and I'm going to test if this blue is different. Is that blue different to this? Yes. So I'm going to point it into my next box. Remember, tip of your brush to start, and then use the side as you go along. I need to load up my brush again. There we go. Now let me even out the paint by spreading it out a little more. Okay, and you can see already I have 2 tones of blue, one that's darker and one that's lighter. Let's see if we can make another tone by adding more water. So here I go. Load up your brush with water, take it into the palette, and just a little bit more, and then I need to stroke on the side and test it. Is it different? Is this different to that? Yes, it is. So now I can add that to my work. And go over the whole thing to spread out that colour. There we go, 3 tones. And then I'm going to do the same thing again by adding more water. And I'm going to leave you to do that so you can or let me do this one. Just a little bit more water, stroke it on the side. Let's see, has the tone changed? Yes, it has. I forgot to use my test paper though, didn't I? Okay, so I've made 4 tones. Now I'm going to show you how to make different tints. Now a tint is when you change the colour, change the lightness or darkness of a colour by adding white. So I'm going to put some blue into this section, and I'm going to put some white here, and I'm going to mix the colours together to create different tints. So a tint is when you change a colour by adding white. So I need to clean my brush first. So I'm going to clean it on the bottom of the pot, stroke it on the side, wipe it with my tissue, and then check that the brush is clean, okay? It's stained, but it is clean, okay? So I'm going to make my first tint. So I'm going to load up my brush with white and mix it with the blue. I'm going to stroke it on the side and test. Now, is this blue different? Yes. So here I go. This is going to be my line of different tints. And you can see that this blue has got just a little bit lighter. Lighter but richer. Okay. Right, let me see if I can make a different tint. So load up my brush again. Add it to the blue. Will this be a different tone? Let's have a look. Yes. And I'm going to add it into this box. Okay. And I want you to keep going. Keep adding white to the blue until you have made 4 different tints. Okay? Then the next job, clean your brush, stroke it on the side, wipe your brush with the tissue and check that it's clean, okay? In the last 4 boxes, I'm going to ask you to try making different shades. A shade is when you change a colour by adding black. So, I'm going to put blue in this side, black in this side, and just like we did to make different tints, we're going to mix some black with the blue to change the tone. Okay, so add a little black, make sure the colour is well mixed together, test it on your test paper. Yes, that colour has changed. It's still blue, but it's a much darker blue this time. Okay, can I change the colour even more by adding just a little bit more black? It's going to be a very dark blue this time, I think. Yes. Okay. Okay. And again, I'm going to ask you to keep going. See if you can keep changing the tint of the colour, okay? So, year 3, today you have learnt how to change the tone of a colour, and this is really important when we're painting because, for example, a seascape, which we will be creating in a few weeks' time, the sea is never just one blue colour. It's a mixture of different colours. When a wave goes up in the air, it usually gets whiter at the top. Then the deep sea is a dark blue. So it's important, if we want our paintings to be realistic, it's important that we learn how to make different tones of a colour. And to do this, we make tints, which is when we mix a colour with white. We make shades when we mix a colour with black. And we make tones when we mix a colour with water. And together, we can make different tones of a colour. Okay, have a go at this, Year 3, and I look forward to see you sending your work to Firefly for me to have a look at, and I look forward to seeing you in our Teams meeting later so we can talk about your learning. Bye for now.